Alright everyone, we start off today talking about voting demographics. You do have some new polling right now, but nothing that's particularly committal, so we'll just talk about this article. Link in the description, archived of course. This is talking about Hispanic voters specifically in the state of Nevada. I've noticed though, this is not the only anecdotal story that shows that Trump is steadily gaining with voters that are of Hispanic origin. And this does not surprise me. It's basically the economy, stupid. That's all that it is. You're trying to work, you're trying to get ahead. It doesn't matter what color your skin is or where you happen to be from, whether you were born in the country, whether you were born abroad, whether you're, relatively wealthy or whether you're, at the lowest end of the totem pole. It doesn't really matter. The economy affects literally everyone. I would point out that the Bidenflation only benefits the rich and the bankster class. The top 1% of the 1% or thereabouts. Everyone else gets fucked. They get screwed. So it doesn't surprise me when the Democratic Party's only pitch to Hispanic voters is, hey, BIPOC. IDPOL, it's identity politics. If that's the only pitch, if you don't really have an economic message, how are you going to prevail with them? It wouldn't make any sense that you'd prevail with any voting bloc. And Kamala Harris's economic message is basically, I'll make the economy better. Just ignore the fact that I'm part of the administration that fucking wrecked the economy. As we will point out later, though, she never gives any particular clear answers on how she's going to do that. Trump, he's like, his platform arguably is a little bit too broad at this point. He's got hundreds and hundreds of policy statements, many of which relate to the economy, also tech censorship, foreign, diplomacy and things like that. It becomes a little bit too obtuse. Kamala's more like, if Donald Trump is a slightly overgrown spruce tree, Kamala Harris is basically a fucking branch. That's probably the closest metaphor that I can make. I don't know where she stands on half of the issues that I actually give a damn about, nor does anyone else. The only natural assumption, and Hispanic voters are intelligent enough, I think, to understand this, is that it's going to be more of the same. Mostly, it would be a Biden policy. So you have an incoherent foreign policy, but now you don't have a dementia patient running that. You have a psychopath. You have an incoherent economic policy, big spending, lots of taxes, things like that. And I like how the Democrats assume that different voting blocs, based solely on race, gender, ethnicity, and so forth, have they have incredibly different experiences, but they look at them as a sum total. They don't look at the individual experiences. So naturally, what's happened is that they've begun alienating voters, I think, within these different groups. Their fixation on white man bad, basically, doesn't help either, because the average person doesn't think that way. I don't think when I walk down the street, if a black person looks at me, for example, that they've got some sort of animus towards me. I don't assume that. I practice situational awareness no matter what kind of person is walking by me. It doesn't matter what color their skin is. Oh, are you Jewish or Islamic? Well, obviously that significantly changes your opinion about me as a person. This appears to be the only selling point that the current administration even has. Again, I can name about 5 policy proposals that Kamala Harris has actually physically made during this campaign. At least, and 3 of them were lifted from Donald Trump. Like, no taxes on tips. Oh, copying homework again, are we? She's done this several times. It's almost like she's trying to, she's trying the Clinton strategy. I'll explain it one more time, then I won't bring it up again unless it's in a live stream or something. Bill Clinton took Reagan's policies, tried to polish them off, rename them, add a sprinkling of welfare and a little bit of IDPOL, only a little bit back then, and then he rebranded. And he won, because Reagan's policies were popular. And Herbert Walker couldn't really, he couldn't debate his way out of a paper bag, so, fuck him. And I'm glad he's dead. And basically, Kamala's trying to do the same thing at this point. oh, this Trump policy is popular. The focus group said it's a good idea. Okay, well, it's mine now. It's basically stealing when you think about it. Political theft. Trump is dominating with Hispanic voters because I think they've become tired of the Democratic Party saying, basically, vote for us, we'll represent you, and then not really representing them. And part of that is the economy. Hispanics do actually work, Kamala. Believe it or not, many of them have jobs. They also have families. Some of them are staunchly religious. Have you ever spent any time among Hispanics? I know Kamala, she was raised, I guess, in Jamaica and is mostly of Indian extraction. I don't think that she's going to the barrio anytime soon. Just saying. But I have. I've been in Hispanicville down in southern Texas. I fucking loved it. And what I met were hardworking people with huge families, often practicing staunch religion. I would not expect that the people that I met down there, generally speaking, after a while, especially, if you're second, third, maybe even fourth generation at this point, I don't expect that they would be receptive of a platform that is extremely sparse, probably based on the Biden template, which has wrecked the economy, plus more idpol. I don't imagine that they would be totally receptive to that. I wonder why Donald Trump is dominating with Hispanic voters, apparently especially in Nevada, which he lost in 2016, if I remember correctly. I don't believe that he won in 2016. I think it's going to be razor thin. I think it's going to be very, very close. And Nevada, I think, is shifting to the right, along with several other states, notably possibly Wisconsin, definitely Maine at this point, which is fucking hilarious. I think that there's been a freeze in politics at the national level, and you're going to see some crazy things. Keep in mind, I did an election morph video years ago. This terminated with the 2012 election, actually. And it shows the change over time of the different states and the results. And it's insane, actually, when you watch it. It's like watching, a chameleon change colors or something like that. It's actually, people assume that politics will be stable, for example. Well, Texas will always be red. California will always be blue. No, not necessarily. We may see a red California and a blue Texas in our lifetime. It's entirely possible. That's about all. Peace out.